morning, everyone, and welcome. It's great to be back at NRF, and I'm personally excited to start my NRF session with my journey with this session. So this is going to be a panel discussion where we're going to be talking about how women's enterprise apparel retailer Chico's FAS quickly adapted to increasing demands in their customer expectations by working with technology enablers like Fabric, like AWS, guided by a composable commerce strategy. So what this composable commerce strategy did for Chico's is to help them create a modern e-com solution that quickly exceeded customer expectations and also turned one-time buyers into repeat customers. I'm your host, Kritika Ganesamurthy. I'm the Global Partner Solutions Architecture Leader at AWS. And with me, I have leaders from Chico's and Fabric. So I'm going to request our leaders to introduce themselves and also tell us a little bit about their journey into retail. Molly, let's start with you.
Great, thank you. And good morning, everyone. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day so far. I had the privilege of actually growing up in retail. My mother owned and operated a old Victorian specialty store in a small town in Ohio, and I grew up in retail. And my mother delighted customers and clientele year after year. And I specifically remember when I was in the 8th grade, there was a customer named Irene. She had a really hard time finding clothing. She was a little bigger on the bottom and much smaller on the top. And I remember when my mom put something on her that Irene cried. And I knew then that the power of transformation, that clothing could give confidence and joy to people. That started my journey in retail. I spent more than 30 years at a fantastic career at Macy's, and I joined Chico's in 2019.
Jake.
Yeah, hi. Thanks everyone for being here. I know the acoustics are rough, so I'll speak up. I got into e-commerce and digital through a unique path. Everyone's is unique. I was in the military for 7 or 8 years, and I was down in Panama in 1990, 1991, and I was using super modern technology at the time, and it was government run. It was the government intranet. It was big, huge digital cameras. And when I got back to the States, I ended up getting a master's degree in telecommunications at NYU's Brooklyn campus right down the road here to try to figure out how it all worked together. And before he had even finished that degree, a 4th generation theater innovator in New York City met me. He had a little company that was like $30 million in revenue. And he took a chance on me and he hired me to be his first CIO. I literally had to go look up what CIO meant at the time. And I exited the military, and that was really in 1997 was my first role in the commercial business. And ever since then, I love the concept of taking all the innovations in technology and trying to figure out how to map that to the commercial world.
Faisal.
Thanks, Jay. So I'm Faisal Masood. I'm the CEO at Fabric. Been here close to 3 years now. But I also, like the rest of the team here, spent a lot of years in commerce. Early years at Amazon, and then later was CTO at Staples until we sold the company. And then most recently was also a part of a moonshot at Google X prior to joining Fabric. And Fabric is a commerce infrastructure company. And we're excited to have Chico's here with us as a customer and tell us more about their story.
Thanks, Faisal. Molly, can you tell us a little bit about Chico's FAS and your brands?
Yes, I'd be happy to. Chico's FAS, what does FAS stand for? And actually, originally when the company was founded, it stood for Folk Art Specialties. I have to explain what some of those things are to people today. So we have actually reimagined every part of the company, and today it stands for Fashion, Artistry, and Solutions, which is how we think about each one of our brands and how we build our brands today. So let's first dig into Chico's. Chico's is a boutique of solution-oriented products focused on color, fit, and inclusive sizing. Chico's brand ethos is about inspiring accomplished women to embrace and express their individuality. Our solutions-oriented playbook centers around ease and fit and comfort and wearability, and our No Iron Shirt franchise and So Slimming bottoms are customer favorites. Now, as we move to White House Black Market, customers discover designer details with feminine-focused solutions, and our ethos is about independent women to embrace both their femininity and also their power. Our designer details playbook supports versatile dressing in seasonless fabrics and is surrounded by black and white in key franchises in denim and also dresses. And lastly, Soma. Soma is our inclusive, intimate apparel brand, providing beautiful solutions. And Soma's brand ethos is inspiring all women to embrace the passion for both comfort and confidence. She appreciates both fashion as much as she does function. And key to Soma's growth is building our bra and panty wardrobe, and we have a bra for her every occasion and her every needs. Our vision is that every one of our Chico's and White House Black Market customers will also be a Soma customer.
Thanks, Molly. Yeah, I think I love all the three brands. So, as I think Chico's has an incredible turnaround story. After years of weak performance and negative comps, I think in 2019, Chico's embarked on this turnaround plan with a 3-year vision. Can you talk to us about the 3-year vision and how it helped you turn around?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, prior to 2019, the company was plagued with multiple years of declining comps, a lot of promotion. We weren't running high on cash. There was a lot of issues inside the organization. And we basically diligently built a transformational strategy, and we reimagined every part of the company. Excuse me. And we started with the customer. And we linked that customer with the product, and then we moved to marketing to really reimagine each one of our 3 brands. And then we created an efficient shared platform for each one of the brands to sit on. Today, we have 4 pillars that guide our turnaround strategy since 2019. And that is being customer-led, product-obsessed, digital-first, and operationally excellent. I think we have that on our next slide.
Yeah, if you can just get into details
Yeah.
of each of them. Yeah, they're very interesting. And
our 3-year plan positions us to deliver over $2.5 billion in revenues by fiscal 2024, and that includes over $1 billion in digital. And we expect our gross margin rate to be 40%, deliver an EPS of 7.5, and also have a growth rate in excess of 15% and cumulative cash from operations of $400 million in the 3 years. So digging into each one of our pillars, first, we are customer-led. We're focused on community engagement and creating exceptional and memorable customer experience and increasing customer lifetime value. Our entire organization is focused on our customer, providing innovative solutions, and we wear test our product, we vet them through our customers before any of our franchises come to market. Over the trailing 12 months ended Q3, our customer count was up over 8%. Chico's was up 11, White House was up 14, and Soma was up 4%.
it's incredible.
Second, we're product obsessed, continually delivering distinctive, premium, best-in-class merchandise to our customers while considering sustainability. Being led by the customer and linking our product to pipeline innovation with a fabric-first, solutions-based mindset. At all 3 of our brands, we largely serve women that are over 45 and that have an income level of over $100,000. How we're growing and what we are thinking about in terms of our brands, each one of them, we are growing our Chico's brand through our innovations playbook, which had a comparable growth in third quarter of plus 29%. At White House, through our designer details playbook with comp sales of over 17% in third quarter. And we're growing Soma through our beautiful solutions playbook, and we had a comparable sales of over 35% over 2019 in the third quarter. Next, we're digital first, leveraging technology to engage and deliver across the channels with our core platform and data-driven insights. And lastly, we are operationally excellent. We continually focus on diligently managing our inventory, our cost of sales, our supply chain, and our real estate, generating healthy cash flow and delivering a strong bottom line. The power of our 3 unique brands is driving growth through these 3 powerful platforms, creating those long-term connections. Our stores are community centers for customers to be able to engage with us, and digital is a place not only to get a first impression of the brand, but also to teach and inspire our customers when they come to us. And the knowledge and enthusiasm of our stylists and our bra experts create and drive that brand loyalty. Today, one of the things that is important to us is that we connect the stores, the digital, and also the social commerce to create those 3 platforms to create customer delight.
It's wonderful. I mean, there's a consistent double-digit growth since 2019. That's very impressive. And so Jay, Molly talked about digital first and how actually it helped your customers connect not just online, but also in the physical stores. Can you talk about how Chico's embraced digital first and how you transformed the company?
Yeah, so Molly got to the company 2.5 or so years ago, is that right? Ish? and I got to the company about 2 years ago. So we're on a journey, and digital first to us is not about e-commerce. It's not about any specific channel. It's really more of a mindset. Already we have 40% plus of our revenues come from the e-commerce channel. And that's grown since 2019. And so there was a tailwind with COVID, but that tailwind has continued. And in fact, in December, has continued to grow. And when we think about omni-channel, seamless, all those words, I always like to say that it's a journey and not a destination. So while we have done a pretty big transformation, and a lot of that has started with talent, a lot of that is around systems, and a lot of that is around data, and not just in the technology and experience organizations, but really throughout the entire company and raising the level of digital sophistication. But it's something that just is a mindset. It's about failing fast and testing and learning. It's all the things you think about in a digital agile environment. We've had a lot of successes already to date, but the way I like to say it to my team, and certainly on my watch, is as far as we've come, we have that much farther to go, because we don't know what channels and what macro customer experiences, how they're going to change in the next 4 or 5 years. So the key is to be able to pivot very, very quickly. We have 3 components of our digital first strategy, which you can see up there, and I'll talk for 30 seconds on each one of them. It's connected commerce, data centricity, and technology enablement. The latter part is what brings us here today. But connected commerce is our version of the omni-channel seamless experience that is common in the market, and we've rebranded it connected commerce, as some of our peer organizations have. And really what this means is, when you think about all the touches we have with our customers, whether that's a call center, a chat, in-store visits, an email marketing message, a social interaction, we have about 5 billion plus interactions every single year. And the vast majority of those, in the 95% range, are digital. So it doesn't matter where you end up actually buying the product, the amount of digital interactions that's happening with that customer is huge. And we have proprietary tools that are digital proprietary tools that over 25% of all of our revenue flows through those tools. And one of the reasons I say we're not ever going to be done, because one of our tools is called Style Connect. And it's a traditional clienteling app where our stores interact with customers. But we're expanding that out to places where we don't have stores, and have virtual stylists be able to interact with sets of customers that are not necessarily going to our store every day, and don't necessarily want to just get a URL and an email to buy something. So trying to breathe life by bringing the charm and the character of our stores into a digital ecosystem. And then where clienteling stops and where we want to take it further is getting the transaction to happen at the point of intent, and not having a customer need to go into a store or go to a URL, but actually in a one-to-one or one-to-several or even one-to-many, a fashion show, an in-home party, a conference such as this, where you can actually make that purchase at the point of connection. And then the other 2 components, data centricity, has 3 main pieces to that, and I'm sure almost everyone is focused on data, and we're no different. The first one is to enable our employees to be able to make faster decisions with data that's relevant, that's accurate, and that's presented in such a way where we can make very quick decisions and then measure those decisions really quickly. The second is around customer experience. Like everyone, we're trying to harness data to enable those customer experiences to feel very personal, and in fact to become very personal. And in some instances, that is actually at the one-to-one level. And again, we've come a long way in the last couple of years, and we have a long way to go. And then the third one touches into operational excellence. It's getting our internal systems, like when you think of planning and allocation, forecasting, buying the right amount of product, getting that product at the right place, so when she wants something, it's there, and you only have to touch inventory one time, and bringing AI and machine learning into that ecosystem. All of that is around data. And then lastly, technology enablement, which, if you wind the clock back 20 years, and I've been a CIO or CTO of some fashion since 1997, the bottom line is technology has become a strategic enabler today, mainstream more than ever. And the concept of having modular, composable architecture now becomes a differentiator. And the last thing I'll end with is it really comes down to speed for us. That after an awesome product, which by the way, I fundamentally believe every retailer, product is and customer are first. If you have the right product, it's a good product, and she or he embraces that product. In the long run, your e-commerce experiences, your delivery experiences need to feed into that versus having really awesome systems and commerce, but maybe not having a product. And we do have an awesome product. So the speed after product, if you say product and customers first, we believe in our company that speed to market of anything new, including product, but also systems, A/B testing, search and discover, personalization, the speed to market and to be able to put those in place, measure them, pull them back, reiterate, and get better and better is the single biggest differentiator that we can have as a company after product and customer.
Thanks, Jay. I think you called out some very important points. The connected commerce, you talked about how it's a journey and not a destination. I think that's a very important reminder for all of us. And the other thing that you also called out was, when we talk about modernizations, we focus very much on the platform and technology, but then there's an important component, the whole people and culture. It is equally important to make sure that we transform people and culture while we think about technology enablement. I think that's a very good reminder for all of us as well. And then in data centricity, you talked about the intent of purchase. How do you make sure you create a seamless experience? And another interesting fact is how your digital and physical stores are connected and how your digital sales are growing in areas where you have physical presence. So the connection between the physical and digital stores. And also you mentioned another important point is when we talk about customer experiences, we talk about he or she walking to the store, but it's equally important to empower a store's associate to make sure that they deliver the right experiences. So so you're doing with your Style Connect app, that's exactly what you're doing. And then technology enablement, speed to market is very key. And as you said, you have to have a mechanism and a process that you can continuously iterate upon so you can actually continuously change the customer expectations as they keep evolving. So Jay, you mentioned technology. So coming back to technology, you talked about composable commerce. Can you elaborate on why composable commerce, why cloud and fabric in particular?
Yeah, I surely can. And maybe the next slide too is, so first of all, as a chief digital officer, having a company, and I saw it in the last presentation where Sephora was here, having a company, an executive committee, a chief executive officer, a board that supports a journey such as this is super, super critical. I don't have to spend a lot of time trying to sell strategy. Now, I do spend a lot of time interacting with our partners and interacting them with our executive committee because they really are embedded with us. But at the end of the day, if you have that support within your own organization, then you have partners that can come in and lean in. It makes a big difference. So cloud and composable first, it's really just a no-brainer. I mean, it's becoming super mainstream right now. But I go back 10 years or so when the concept of and they're very different. So I'll start with cloud. I mean, at the end of the day, when I look back at the 10 years of money that we've spent on our e-commerce platform, our monolithic in-house e-commerce platform, the amount of non-ROI money that goes into that platform when you have to upgrade it, when you have to defrag your database, upgrade the operating system, the provider no longer is on 10.1, you have to go to 10.3, sunsetting, PCI compliance, Sarbanes-Oxley. And when you outsource this to a platform provider, and you allow them to manage all that ecosystem, including the infrastructure, the bandwidth, the security, the disaster recovery, it's just a huge amount of non-ROI money that leaves your organization, or at least centralize it all in one place, and you don't have this massive organization to manage it. And it's hard because we were, like everybody, have a lot of in-house applications and a lot of in-house things. You have to be very thoughtful of how you move that to the cloud. But clearly, we embrace the concept of anything new going in the cloud versus necessarily worrying about what's existing, because we can be in a hybrid environment. And then composable, that's a little less mainstream, but it's getting there. And everybody's heard of microservices and composable and modularity. The downside of it is there's a level of technology sophistication you need to have in your company to manage it, because the plumbing becomes very complex. Instead of one big database, you have 40 databases and 40 different systems. But if you can find a partner and get a modest advancement of your own staff, it's very manageable. The benefit of having that modularity is when you want to go put a new A/B testing platform in, which we have called A/B Tasty, a new search like Site, a new PIM like Akinio, these new platforms we're putting in, it ends up being infinitely easier. And in fact, in many cases, you can actually pilot things live before you go live in a matter of weeks instead of months. And in some cases, some of the features and functions we want for our customers and employees, we can't do it because of how complex our environment is. Whereas on our new environment, we're going to be infinitely more flexible to be able to move quickly.
Great. I think it's also important, as you said, the speed and agility to market, right? When you look at e-commerce in the last few years, we have AR, we have VR, we have immersive commerce. Now we have metaverse. So it's important to have a platform that can actually help you put together all of these experiences, as you said, in a matter of weeks and not a matter of months. And then not to forget all the service pack upgrades that we'll have to sit through, and the weekends and nights. I'm sure all of you all are accustomed to that. So thank you, Jay. And Faisal, coming to you. You've heard Molly's vision of a 3-year plan and Jay talking about composable commerce and speed to market and agility that brings. Can you talk a little bit about Fabric as a platform and also about how you've helped Chico's accomplish their turnaround?
Yeah, totally. Thanks, Jay and Molly. That's super helpful to also hear it again from both of you, the strategy for Chico's. What's infinitely sort of helpful to us when we have customers like Chico's is having the clarity that Molly just articulated on exactly what it is that the company is looking to do. And a lot of times when you end up meeting with customers who are themselves not very clear on what the ultimate North Star is, it becomes difficult for an infrastructure and a platform provider to be able to help in the way that we can. I would say that Fabric is a commerce infrastructure. We are, as Jay mentioned, composable and microservices led. The one reason why I ended up at Fabric was because as we went through our journey at my previous employer, Staples, we were stuck in similar situations that Jay mentioned, which were we had a monolithic platform. Anytime we had to make a change, it was called a build. A build would take anywhere from 2 months to 4 months to 5 months. And we could not be agile. We could not make any changes. I mean, even on customer-facing experiences. And we ended up building a platform which was microservices led, and ultimately Fabric became that, the next version of that, empowering other retailers to be able to do what Staples did. We had thousands of engineers, not every other company has that. So I would say for us, it's all about our partnership with Chico's, having the alignment that's needed at the highest level and at the lowest level, where all the parties are clear on what is the mission, how can we lean in and not have the customer worry about a particular issue when in the end the customer's always right. So in this case, Chico's has a clear vision. Jay and Molly have articulated what they want to do. Our goal is to make sure that we provide the level of service that in the 4th bullet that Molly had on operationally excellent, how can we do that from a partner perspective? So we're proud to be here today and as a partner to Chico's, and I'd love to hear more from Jay about what are the other parts of the platform that Chico's is looking to develop over the next several years.
Yeah, and I'll also give a little shout out of why Fabric, because I think it's important, because there's a lot of options out there. And I've been reading a lot around some of the monoliths are now starting to tout their modularity and composability. I see it everywhere. It's gaining steam. When you go through a very heavy transformation like we're going through, the biggest change manager for us is in the technology and product management organizations. So when you pick a partner, not only do they have to have good technologists and product management people, they also have to have a roadmap that fits with what your roadmap is, and a culture where they're willing to lean into your organization to help you grow. And them, along with, I know we have some bounteous people out here as our systems integrator, and it all sits on Amazon Cloud. You get that little trifecta going, and where the culture fits, where people are putting good attention to you, where we're not in a sales process, we're actually doing sprints week in and week out, where our engineering teams are working together, our product teams are working together, and the culture, we like you, and we like Bounteous, and we like Amazon. And you got to, at the end of the day, one of my directs asked me when we were going through this process, and we got it down to 2, who would you rather fail with? Because you're going to have problems, you're going to fail. And that kind of sealed the deal for me with you guys, because to a person in both organizations, we've melded really well together, and we have good momentum. We started with OMS, DOM, and inventory, which is a bear, and I've done it last at 2 companies, and this company I decided I was going to do it first. The market didn't have a lot of great options, and then so we chose them. We went live within about 11 months on our first big tranche last month. And then we ended up doing rest of platform with Fabric as well. And then with some bolt-on partners that I mentioned before. So just 2 thumbs up to you and your team for doing a great job.
Thanks, Jay. And I think the comment that Jay just made about having fun as well, as an ex-Amazonian, I'll say, you know, working hard, having fun, and making history is something embedded within Fabric as well, where we have truly as well really enjoyed working with the team. In fact, the rigorous process that Jay put us through in this journey was not trivial, to be clear. We got to spend quite a bit of time with the Chico's team, including Molly and the executive team, to get to know and see if there's an actual culture fit between the companies. And I think when the cultures collide, typically these are not good exercises to get into. And we too are extremely proud of serving you and being part of this journey with you.
Oh, it's exciting.
And thanks, Faisal, and thanks, Jay. And Molly, back to you. You know, I've heard Jay say the same thing, and Faisal as well, right? I mean, setting the clear vision and strategy is very important to guide the company, and also for platform enablers like Fabric and AWS for us to come in and actually help you. So we talked about people transformation and culture transformation. Can you just talk a little bit about how you actually transform not just technology, but also people? Like, what did you do? How did you change the culture?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly important to have the why before the what. And because people need to know why they're doing something. And if they're not very clear on the why, then they're not real sure on the what. So for us, change management, I think in anything in technology is probably the biggest thing that's underplayed. And because you end up always having 3 camps. So we just spend a lot of time on the why. And you know, understanding the workload that's up front and making clear that everybody in the organization understands that. So it's a constant daily reminder, the why before the what.
Got it. Thank you. So yes, I think just to close out, you know, modernizing e-commerce is happening very quickly. And, you know, as Jay and Faisal mentioned, setting out a clear strategy is important, which is what Molly actually set for Chico's, which actually helped the turnaround. And if you go back to Molly's numbers, they had double-digit growth every quarter since 2019. So that's incredible. And so modernizing e-commerce, and Jay also talked about, you know, when he was talking about the 3 pillars, it's a journey, not a destination. When we talk about seamless brand experiences, it's always a journey. And having the right platforms, having a composable commerce strategy platform helps you actually get to market. So speed to market reduces incredibly because you have discrete set of services all connected by APIs. So thank you, Molly, thank you, Jay, and thank you, Faisal, for sharing your story, and also Faisal for talking about how Fabric as a platform is helping retailers. And thank you all for joining. You can reach us, you can come to the AWS booth. We are right outside, and also Fabric booth. They're in level 2, I believe.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you for joining us. Have a great day and a great show. Thank you.
Thank you, Kritika.